Hello everyone, does the world really already know the whole truth about Jimin and Jungkook? Or all this time fans were shown only a small part of a much larger, deeper and perhaps more shocking story than imagined? This question has recently come up very strongly, not only in fan forums, but also in various discussions about Korean pop culture. It all starts with small signals. An ambiguous statement. Gestures that seem trivial, but are constantly repeated. For years, Jimin and Jungkook were known as two BTS members with a very strong bond. Their chemistry feels natural, their relationship in front of the camera always looks warm and sincere. However, another question arises: is everything we see really that simple? In the present era, every movement of the idol is recorded, analyzed one by one. Debated endlessly. Ironically, it is precisely in the midst of this overflow of content that something important is often missed. Jimin and Jungkook are right in the middle of this paradox. Their names are almost never separated in the discussion of BTS, not only because of emotional closeness, but because of the consistency of their attitudes over time. A pattern that many fans later recognized as something not accidental. In pop culture studies, this phenomenon is often referred to as hidden narratives. A story that was never told directly, but it can be felt through symbols, body language, choice of words, and artistic decisions. On Jimin and Jungkook, this narrative begins to be felt when fans compare old interviews with the latest, comparing their early debut performance with their current solo work. There are subtle changes, there is a new depth. It was as if the two of them were moving towards something that had not yet been fully revealed. Since BTS debuted in 2013, their dynamic is indeed unique. Jungkook is known as a curious figure, ambitious, always wanted to grow, while Jimin appeared more reflective, emotionally sensitive, has a very strong artistic consciousness. When the two are together, a balance is created that is difficult to ignore. For many years, this balance was often considered part of the group's strategy. An effective formula for attracting public sympathy. However, that view is beginning to be questioned. Jimin and Jungkook's relationship does not follow the pattern of the other members' relationships. Instead of stretching or becoming more formal over time, their closeness feels deeper. In various live broadcasts, they often understand each other without many words, even silent together without any awkwardness. In an entertainment world full of shows, this kind of silence feels the loudest, and this is where the big question arises: if this is just entertainment, why is its consistency maintained even outside of promotion? If this is a coincidence, why has the pattern kept repeating itself for more than a decade? And if this is part of a grand plan, what kind of plan are they building? Some Korean music analysts began to attribute this to BTS artistic evolution. With age and experience, the members increasingly dare to express personal identity. Jungkook explores global pop, Jimin brings a more introspective and emotional feel. Both are moving on different paths, but the paths continue to intersect. This is what makes many people believe that there is potential for collaborations or special appearances in the future. Speculation grew stronger as vague hints emerged from industry sources, without details, without confirmation, but it was enough to trigger a wave of theories among the army. Is this a new music project, a stage show with a more mature concept, or a symbolic statement about their relationship that has so far been understood only implicitly? What makes this situation even more emotional is the reaction of fans. For many soldiers, Jimin and Jungkook are not just idols, they are part of the journey of life. A source of comfort, inspiration, and identity. When the possibility arises that something is not yet fully understood, the reaction that arises is not only curiosity, but also hope, fear, and anticipation. Online discussions turn into in-depth analysis, song lyrics dissected, release date matched, visual symbols are interpreted, small expressions in the interview are analyzed, not for the sake of sensation, rather because there is a feeling that something big is waiting behind the curtain. BTS is known as a group that is very aware of the narrative. Their every move is rarely spontaneous. If there is indeed a surprise prepared, it is most likely the result of careful planning, not just a trick, rather an artistic statement. But the biggest question remains the same: are the fans ready? If the project or appearance really challenges the old perception, the reaction is sure to be mixed. Some feel validated, partly surprised. Some may feel they have lost the old image they held. This is reinforced by the attitude of Jimin and Jungkook himself. They rarely give direct clarification, their language is scrupulous, poetic, open to Interpretation. In a separate interview, Jungkook spoke about the importance of honesty in his work. Jimin talks about the courage to come as you are despite the risk of being misunderstood. Point 2 statements that feel like puzzle pieces. That if you look at the history of BTS, big moments are often preceded by small clues, ambiguous statement, subtle signals, and very carefully chosen time. This anticipation creates emotional tension on social media. Hashtags are popping up, the messages are full of emotions. Flowing, scared, but impatient. Will their appearance really surprise everyone? If you look at the pattern, most likely yes, but the form of the surprise is still a mystery. What is clear, the impact will not be small. Jimin and Jungkook are not just Korean idols, they are global icons. Each of their steps has a cross-cultural resonance. In the end, perhaps the most important question is not what they will do. That's why this story has touched so many people. The answer lies in the symbols they represent: honesty, growth, courage. If one day the curtain were to open, the world might be shocked, touched, or even shaken. But one thing is almost certain: this story is not about sensation, but rather about a long journey that continues to develop, and when that moment comes, the world of K-pop may never be the same again.